Structure of a typical website follows sort of standard pattern for most sites. We start with looking at the header, which is this section here above the start of the site that will always contain the logo. The logo should always link back to the home page. You'll have your main primary navigation, which will link you through to the different pages across the site. A search feature, which is vital on large websites with lots of information, perhaps in your blog, or if you have a shop that sells products, the search is integral to that. Also up in the header, the social media follow links, including an email contact button. Good to have on the header is also your newsletter sign up. You want that to be enticing. You want to kind of give people an idea of why they should sign up. So in this case, it's for special offers. If you were selling products, they might be first to hear of sales, etc., etc. Clicking on that opens up a pop-up window, and they can sign up to the list. You can also set this pop-up to automatically open after 5-10 seconds or whatever it is once somebody lands on the site. Has proven to be pretty good for converting people to become newsletter subscribers. Also along the top we've got a contact link, which will just open up an email. We've got the opening times of the business and then the telephone number, which is clickable as well. So on a phone that'll be tapped and open up your phone and start dialing the number. On your computer it would just open up FaceTime or Skype or whatever it might be to do the call. The other element that's important on a site is the footer. It's often overlooked, but it's quite a critical place for holding important information, and because it's always there and it's always the last thing you see once you scroll down to the bottom of the page, it's good for just reinforcing messages, contact details, specials, whatever it might be. A typical structure would be a little sort of repetition and a small blurb on about you, about the business, list of recent blog posts, contact us information down here with your address and phone number and email. Again, the social media icons and a click to call feature. A repetition of the main menu with a few additions such as the privacy policy, terms and conditions, and again newsletter subscribe link. Copyright information, company name, and a link out, usually to the people who built the website. In this case it's us, which is always good for our SEO, and yeah, just works. So that's a header and the footer that you'll see on all sites. They all typically will have it. The layout might change slightly. The placement of these different elements can move around. You could have the logo in the middle, the menu down below, etc. But as long as you've got these kind of core features there, you're covering most bases. Same with the footer. You could have different things here. You might have 4 columns. You might only have 2. You might include a video. You might have a Facebook feed. So there's a number of options there, but these are kind of the basics. Then moving on to the actual different pages and the structures of these pages. Obviously, the first one is the home page. And your home page should always have a clear message and a clear sort of value proposition as to what you do, what you can offer, and how people can find it. So a good strong visual with a strong headline and a call to action button, which might link you off to a product or a special or a page or someone that you're trying to entice the visitor to take action on, is usually good to have up top, followed by a headline introducing your value proposition, a little bit more insight into how you can benefit them, and then following on just an overview of the services available on the site, or maybe it's different products, whatever it might be that you're wanting to briefly introduce and link through to the other pages can be featured here. You could also have a blog news feed. You might have a product feed if you're an online shop. And you want to keep it fairly simple and engaging, and just not overcomplicate things. Following from that, you'd have your about page, which is kind of self-explanatory, but it's usually a little bit of a description over the business, who you are, what you do, maybe the team members and their credentials. Make it visually appealing, quite simple, not too overpowering. You can have more text here if you need to. You could have less text if you need to. It just needs to basically make sure that they know who you are, and that you have some credibility, and they can find out a little bit more about the people and what they can offer. Following from that, we go through to the services page. You might have services, you might have products, whatever it might be, but again, we follow a similar layout to what we had on the about page. We want to keep things consistent in terms of people expecting where to find things or how things work. So, if your headers are always there, it's good to just keep it like that, keep your layout, keep the same sort of visual presence. Obviously, you could have more or less text depending on how much you're needing to say. And then again, repetition of those different services like we saw on the home page. This could obviously be something different, but for this example purpose, it just illustrates the overview of the services that are offered, and if they wanted to go into more detail, you could click through to a single page per service, which could also be a landing page of sorts, which could allow people to fill in a form or inquire in more detail over what those services might be. Then we've got a news page, and that's just like a typical blog. So you've got your overview of blog posts, and a sidebar which would have a search feature, a list of recent posts, the categories that the blog posts belong to, and again, just to reinforce the newsletter sign up and make it as available as possible wherever somebody is on the site. So if they're reading a blog post and they would like to hear from you more often, then while they're there, they can still sign up for the newsletter. The next page that's critical on all sites obviously is the contact page, and this will include your contact details, your physical address, cell phone, email, social media channels, a form that they can just simply fill in to send an email through to you, a Google map of the location of your premises, and once again a newsletter sign-up form allowing them to subscribe to your email newsletter database from the contact page. You never know where people are going to land on your site, so it's good to always cover all bases, and that's also why the header and footer are so important, because you might think you're including vital information on a particular page, but if they haven't gone to that page to look, or they haven't bothered to read the about or whatever it might be, they can still glean that information from being on a single page on your site. So repetition is kind of key for your core messages and core functions that you're wanting people to take on your site. And getting them to sign up for a newsletter is quite valuable, because once they've opted in to hear from you, you've kind of got them. So yeah, the newsletters feature a lot. That covers pretty much everything for the standard site. What we can look at now also is the landing page. Our landing page is slightly different to a website itself. So a landing page typically is what you would use to direct people towards from an advert, or from an ad campaign, or from a Facebook ad, or whatever it might be. So you're putting this ad out, and you're offering a product or service, and you're enticing people to click through for more information. They would then land on this page after clicking the ad. So the goal of this page is really to get the people to fill in the form and send this form through, or get in touch with you, typically via the form, in order to follow through on whatever it was your advert was trying to get them to do. So a good structure of a landing page is as follows. It's a headline that matches the ad that they've just clicked on. So if you were selling shoes, the headline should talk about shoes, and just support the intention of the advert. A nice strong visual. You could maybe have some wording on here, something that also just really kind of sells the product. Another grabbing headline, little description, option to fill in their form and choose what it is that they're interested in. And these landing pages can be quite informative and long sometimes, and they need to just kind of reinforce why you're wanting these people to take action, and what the benefits are for them. So further down on this page is another little introductory paragraph that explains the offer in more detail, and then you want to highlight the different features of the product or whatever it is that you're offering. You want to show some social proof, so you want to show that other people have endorsed it, so testimonials are fantastic for that. You want to scatter those around on the landing page. And then here another little statement to maintain interest and reinforce your message again. I'll scroll down and you can give them some more information, a little bit more info on the different benefits and then the different features, and then a closing argument or statement to kind of reinforce the whole thing again. So that by the time they've scrolled down here, they're like, okay, cool, these people are legit. It's a good service or product, so and so likes it. Yeah, okay, cool. I think I'm going to go for that. You want to make these pages as focused and simple as possible. You'll notice that we don't have the website navigation, and we don't have a footer. We don't have anything else that gives them any way or means of leaving this page unless they fill in the form or take some sort of action. It's designed to keep them on the page for as long as possible and provide as much information to them to make their decision before they take action and get in touch. So you don't want to distract them and send them off to your Facebook page, or to click through to your About Us and then get bored and go away. So the aim here is really just to give them all the information, be credible, and get them to take action as soon as possible. You can also repeat the form further down as well, so that if they do get down to the bottom here, you could make it easier for them to complete the process and take action as well. Quite often, though, most people will go for it at the top, and this other information is really just to kind of reinforce your credibility as a business or as a service provider or whatever it might be that you're selling. And that's one example of an effective landing page layout, but it should give you a good idea of the different elements that make it up.